Okay, 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 okay. It's a new amp, but it's not a new amp because I bought this amp a long time ago, a few months ago, and I went from having no Marshalls to having this Marshall, just a little quick glimpse, but then back to having no Marshalls because there was a little bit of a problem with it. But luckily, the owner of the Marshall that I'll be talking about today, which is a JCM 800 2210, so 50 water 2-channel amp with reverb and an effects loop and a DI out and all sorts of fun things, but on an actual JCM 800. So I bought it, and then it was like being funky. And as I was buying it, I bought it from a shop that it was in town. He had it on consignment there, and I picked it up, and it was like the volume was kind of dropping in and out. And he was like, "Oh, man, that's not cool. Bring it to me." And I brought it to him because he's a bit of a genius and takes apart all sorts of cool things and puts things back together and has a beautiful machine shop. And he does a lot of like puppet building and like intense creative manufacturer for film and television. He's a neat dude who's in the Triangle community, and we're lucky to have him. Patrick Zahn, here's to you. Hats off. The last inch of my mullet is in dedication to you today. So I bought and I had my first Marshall, but I didn't really play it, and it's been hanging out with him for a little while because there was no real. I'm in a room full of amps. There was no reason for him to, kind of rush his way through anything. But I just picked it up today, and I'm so happy to show it to you. But in the meantime, I ended up getting the other Marshall that I like so much, and that boy is which you have seen for any of my super fans out there. You've seen it on the channel. It's the Marshall 76 Marshall JMP Mark II Master Volume Model 2203. And I'm gonna play that amp forever, and it's perfect, and I love it. This little so-and-so, I've plugged in and played for, going on 3 minutes since I turned the camera on. So I just thought I would noodle, get to know the amp a little bit, and show you around. From what I can tell from the internet, from the opinions troughs out there, the 2205 and the 2210 are the forgotten JCM 800s, or the JCM 800s that are less chill compared to the 2203 and 2204 single channel amps. I guess folks think that having 2 channels is lame, or having reverb is lame, or having effects loops is lame. Effects loops are kind of lame, but that's fine. DI outs are cool though. It's not that they're lame, it's just that the 2203 and 2204 JCM 800s are like the thing that do the thing, and these have more knobs, and they say JCM 800 on the outside, but they don't necessarily do the JCM 800 thing. Luckily, I don't really know what the JCM 800 thing is because I just have a JMP 2203, which, this is Marshall number 1 and Marshall number 2. I am learning as I go. And so I'll start off on the amp where I started off on the amp when I first plugged it in, and that was on the clean channel, but with the volume fucking cranked on the clean channel. The preamp volume cranked on the clean channel. This is the Kramer DMZ Ensign edition. Just plugged straight in to the Marshall 2210. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I find out that the 2210 is the I think the model number is right. This is the 50 watt version of the head. 2203, 100 watt, JCM 800, JMP, just the 100 watt master volume. 2204, 50 watt. Pretty sure that the 2205 is the 100 watt version of this amp right here, and that we are playing through the 2210. The cabinet is the Roland 4x12 that goes with the, where is it? The, what's that one? That one, Jazz Chorus 120 head. And the speakers are just whatever the original old Japanese ones that are in it. And it sounds cool with distortion. Anyway! That's cool as shit. Reverb is foot switchable. Channel is foot switchable. Master's on, now is on 4. Pretty. Never shakes out any why couldn't it shake out any different? For all the times to be little and why I was a Jacksonville Marine trucks, parking lot of the mall. Standing in the wheel, well, I'm so small. Green Marines, high five. Laugh when I tell him that I can hit $1 at 40 yards. They laugh when I tell them that I just turned 5 and I'm ready to die twice for what is it's pretty fucking pleasant to me, and we are still only hanging out on the clean channel so far. I've been messing around on the guitar, splitting the humbuckers here and there. Reverb's nice. It's kind of like its own thing. It's a little bit darker in tone than maybe like a twin or something like that. Not quite as dark as you can see the foot switch is sitting on top of one of my favorite reverb sounds in the entire world, which is the PV Classic, and oh god, it's so pleasant. The reverb is so dark, but still really clear, and but it's so dark that your attack of the notes like goes over the wash in just a beautiful way. This is one of my favorite amps in the world. I've never played any of the VTXs or the later classic series. This is the straight classic solid state preamp, 2 6L6s in the power section. There's something that's like a little bit dry and crispy about the distortion character of this amp so far that reminds me a little bit of solid state preamps. I believe that there is, I don't know this to be fact, but I believe that there is diode clipping somewhere in this amp. I don't know where it happens, but you could be hearing some piece of solid state something somewhere in this arena. I don't fucking know. Alright. Oh, that red light went on, but this light is so bright that you can't tell. I just switched the channels. So, the channel that you have heard, they call the normal channel on the amp itself. And they're calling the channel that you are on now the boost channel. The boost channel gets you a 3-band EQ, bass, middle, and treble. Normal channel, you had a 2-band EQ of bass and treble. On your master section, you got a master volume, a reverb control, and a global presence control. That's your EQ range on those 3. And then you've got 2 volumes or 2 gains on the boost channel. That's crispy. So that's the gain all the way up. The master, let's put the master at 5 out of 10. Let's put the volume at 5 out of 10. And then the gain knob is all the way up. Alright, so at least with the gain cranks, volume is doing nothing between about 2 and 4. I mean, you can tell it's working, but it's not really working. You hit 5, same story. Overall, the volume in the room is a good deal less loud than it would have been if I was just on the normal channel volume cranked, and the master on 5. It would have been pretty fucking loud. Going from 5 to 6 on the boost channel volume, not the gain pot. fucking thrilled right now. This is so much fun. Patrick said something to me offhand And one of the ways that Patrick described the way the volume pot and the gain pot seem to interact with each other on the boost channel is that it's less of two separate gains and more of kind of almost like a method of balancing the volumes between your two channels with respect to the master volume. And that this volume channel or this volume pot on the boost channel is doing a good is kind of being almost like a channel master volume basically, and that seems to be accurate from at least how I was interacting with it. Because you're not. Oh, I'm not even on the right channel yet. It's not adding any gain whatsoever. Any preamp gain. So I think you're setting that where you want it to be. I think. Fucking Grind City. Oh. This thing fucking rips. This rules. I'm a happy little camper. I'm going camping in a happy spot. You can do all sorts of fucking shit with this. The mind whirls. I'm pleased with how it sounds. I don't know how it sounds. compared to a JCM 800 2203, how the gain character is different, not different. But I do know that I can tell from the way this plays, the way it responds, everything about it, I'm going to be able to do things that I really, really like with it. And so I'm so pleased to have it. In my life now. I snuck in a little song that I was writing. It's not finished. And it is mysterious and good. It's having to do with the Myrtle Beach rock opera. Man, I can do this all day. Alright, well, this has been a lovely half hour for me. I sure do hope you've enjoyed yourselves. And we'll catch you